I'm reviewing one of the best but little known books ever written. You won't want to miss this.
This is the Franchise Pitfalls and Profit Show. Each week, we bring you the challenges and triumphs of being in the franchise development and consulting business. The things you need to make money faster. And now your host, one of the most successful franchise developers in North America, Don Shin.
I'm reviewing a book today for you, and one of the keys of the Franchise Pitfalls and Profits show is to help us make more money, but in the long run, it's also for us to live a more fulfilled, purposeful life. And so today, I'm going to read some excerpts. I'm going to give you some of my thoughts and opinions about a book that I've read so many times that the binder has broken and the pages have been falling out. So I'd show it to you, but I'm in the process of relocating. And so unfortunately, the book is boxed, but it was really important for me to pull out some keys for you that have impacted my life and really some of the key takeaways, and really encourage you to get the book. Find it. It's not in print anymore, but get the book, find it, read it, get a used one. This is one that you're going to want to read. The book is called The Science of Getting Rich, and it is written by a gentleman by the name of Wallace D. Wattles. This book actually precedes Napoleon Hill and Think and Grow Rich. There was so much in here that you can see that Napoleon Hill either pulled it from some of the Wattles stuff or discovered some of the same sciences and science factors to living in a fulfilled, abundant, and rich life. So this book, when you begin to first read it, you might start to think that it's about money alone, but it's really not about that. What it's about is about doing things in a certain way that has proven to be the successful way. And that brings in, so to speak, the science of all of this. And Wattles, interestingly enough, had experienced a lot of failure in his life. And then he began to study people that were successful. Again, somewhat similar to what Napoleon Hill did with a multi-year study of the greats in the world and what made them great, what made them so successful. So again, the science of getting rich. Let's dive into some of the principles here that I really wanted to share with you today. One of the things he talks about there's a right to being rich. No man ought to be satisfied with a little if he is capable of using and enjoying more. There's nothing wrong in wanting to get rich. And the desire to get rich is really the desire for a richer, fuller, more abundant life. And that we live for the body, we live for the mind, we live for the soul. And these things have to be blended together in order to have a truly fulfilling and purposeful life. A man's highest happiness is found in the bestowal of benefits on those he loves. Love finds it most natural and spontaneous expression in giving. So being generous, one of the keys here to this science is not about hoarding. It's not about just my personal success rates and my personal satisfaction and my personal wealth and my personal assets and bank accounts. It is about being generous. So one of the first things you want to talk about is being generous. All right, now moving on. The abilities to do certain things is not based on the possession of talents. For many people who have great talent remain poor. this is something that should be encouraging to all of us, because what Waddles is saying is that we regular people can be successful. We regular Joes and Janes can be wildly successful. So really key to know that this is not just a system for the greatly talented. This, if done in a certain way, things if done in a certain way by anybody, you can be wildly successful. So keep in mind, everyone can be successful. The law of wealth is the same for them as it is for all others. In other words, it's the same for the hourly worker. It's the same for the highly talented, this science of success applies to all fields, all industries, all fields. All right. Another key point here that Waddles talks about is that God requires that we should make the most of ourselves, for ourselves, but also for others. So again, here's that generosity component. And you can help others more by making the most of yourself in all ways. Now, one of the things I wanted to talk about here is that I believe Waddles excuse me, I believe Waddles was a faith person, or a man of faith, a man of God. But honestly, these principles can be applied whether you believe in God or not. So don't turn me off. Don't turn the rest of this off. If you don't believe in God, or you've had issues or struggles with Christians, please continue to listen through. Please get the book, because this is not a book about religion or God. This is a book about doing things in certain ways that are known to be successful or to bring success. Okay, some more from Waddles. We cannot deal with people unfairly. We do not have to get something for nothing. This process of doing things in a certain way successfully are giving to every man, woman, more than what you take from them. And the key here is give him or her more value in use value than in cash value. So give more than you get. And we should not, and again, this is biblical, but we should not hesitate about asking largely, because Jesus, even in the Bible, said that it is your Father's pleasure to give you the kingdom. Nothing more. Again, if you're a believer, there's nothing more than the kingdom with a capital K. God, the one substance, is trying to live and do and enjoy things through humanity. So he wants to see us successful. And again, that's whether you're a believer or not. God wants to see mankind successful. Now, one of the things here, now we've talked about the generosity component. We've talked about that everyone can do this. We've talked about giving more value than you're getting is a component of success. And another piece of this is gratitude. Most often, Waddles says, people are kept in poverty most often by their lack of gratitude. And he says it's also easier to understand that the nearer we live to the source of wealth, the more wealth that we can receive. And it's also easy to understand that the soul that is always grateful lives closer to the source, or to God with a capital G, and one which never looks to him in thankful acknowledgement, or without thankful acknowledgement. The more gratefully we fix our minds on God when good things come to us, the more good things we will receive, and the more rapidly they will become. But there is a law, again, whether you're a believer or not, believe in God or don't, there is a universal law of gratitude, and it is absolutely necessary, Waddles says, that you observe this law if you are to get the results you seek. The moment that you permit your mind to dwell in dissatisfaction upon the things as they are, you begin to lose ground. So, being grateful for what we have will allow us to move forward to have more. Now, into the part of about thinking in a certain way. This is also big. This is one of the biggest pieces of Napoleon Hill and the Think and Grow Rich, and that is that you must form a clear and definite mental picture of what you want. You cannot transmit this idea to others, to the universe, unless you have it yourself. It can't be just to do good with something. It's not just to have wealth, but because everybody has those desires, but you need to be as clear as you can. Napoleon Hill called it the chief aim and purpose in life, and that needs to be crystal clear. Now, there's another piece of this thinking, and that is action. In other words, and Waddles says that if all you do is have the picture, the imagery of your definite, again, what Napoleon Hill called the chief aim and purpose in life, then you're just going to be a dreamer. So behind the purpose, behind the mental picture of this, Waddles says that there must be an invincible, unwavering faith that the thing is already there. And again, this is a lot of what Napoleon Hill talks about. That the thought process, auto suggestion, Napoleon Hill calls it. That as you grasp that, as you hold that desire in your mind, as you have it crystal clear morning and night, then things will begin. The physical realm will begin to attract the people and the things and the actual substance of what you're thinking and believing in. So think and action and just a belief and a faith in the fact that you're going to have it or it is going to come true. Waddles also talks about not relying only on our willpower. We should not just think on our own about our own willpower, because you'll never get it. Our willpower is not that strong. So we're not going to be able to get things just or achieve these great desires and these bigger aim and purposes and definite aim and purpose in life through just our own willpower. We also, again, back on the thought process, if we must put poverty and all other things that pertain to poverty, put them behind you. So never again, if you've had losses, don't go back and review those losses. If you've had failures, don't go backwards. Don't look behind you and continue to keep in your mind pieces of those failures. You need to have that clear focus and vision on what your chief aim and definite purpose in life is, so that you're moving toward that. So I'm going to wrap up here now. Again, lastly, just on this certain way of acting and thinking, the vision received sets creative forces in mind, and it is through working in regular channels of action that you're going to be successful. This is not about competition. In fact, competition is a negative. It is something that is a scarcity minded. You need to be abundant minded in order to be successful, as Waddles is talking about. So let me just wrap up. I think there's a final quote here. I want to give you all the key points. So yeah, so the last quote from Waddles I want to do. I'm sorry for a little bit of length here. The economic salvation of the masses can only be accomplished by getting a larger number of people to practice the scientific method that are set down in his book, and to become rich so that you can give back to others. So the key points, but go read the book. But the key points here today are going to be a generous mindset, a giving, generous mindset. It's going to be the realization that anyone and everyone can do this. You don't have to have special abilities or talents. You don't have to be born with the silver spoon in your mouth. Anyone can do this regardless of their station in life. You want to give more value than you receive. That's another method here of getting rich. You want to have and embrace the law of gratitude. If we're not happy and grateful for what we have, you're never going to get more. You're never going to receive more. We want to think clearly. You want to think clearly of your chief aim and definite purpose in life, crystal clear with numbers and so much so that you can feel it and you can sense that it's yours already. You can have the faith in the fact that it's yours already because it's so strongly developed in your mind. But you also then must not just be a dreamer. You must put actions with those thought processes, with those desires. You must insert your actions, positive actions, never giving up, in order for this system to work. And then lastly, this is the way that we're going to have the greatest impact on our neighbors, the greatest impact on our friends, the greatest impact on our communities, and the greatest impact on our nation by at first getting ourselves rich and abundant in order to help others.